coming, so you're free just to start. Let's
Perfect.
go for it.
So welcome everybody. For anybody that's not joined us before, I'm Angela, time for me.
And she's had her hair done today.
Yes, I've had my hair done today.
She's went all out.
Don't normally look as glam. So, today we're going to talk about the inner critic. And I'm going to help you understand where that comes from. And we're just going to talk all stuff about the inner critic. And hopefully, you will leave here today with a better understanding of how to work with it, where it comes from, why it's there, and how to take control back. Because sometimes that inner critic controls us. So it does. So, before we begin, I know some of you will keep your camera on, some of you will keep them off. We're pros at this now, aren't we, Nicola?
Yeah, we are. I even put some lip gloss on.
Some might even be sitting with a notebook taking notes. Some might be making the dinner. Everything's absolutely fine. Whatever you are doing is fine. This isn't about forcing people to...
Love this.
Love it. We're not going to force anyone to speak. You don't need to share anything if you don't want to. You don't need to put stuff in the chat. You don't need to do anything you don't need to do in this. You can listen, you can write things down, you can think about what I say privately. If you want to share, great. I love it when we share as well. So I do. Take whatever's useful for you. Okay, that's what this is about. It's everybody takes what they want for this stuff. They'll all have their own experiences. Okay? So, we're going to be talking about that wee voice in your head, as Nicola put it.
Yeah.
That wee voice in your head. Okay? You know the one.
Oh, they do.
You're walking out the door.
They do.
Yeah. You're walking out the door, feeling fab. You've had your hair done. You catch yourself in the mirror. And suddenly your brain becomes a panel of judges in Britain's Got Talent. What's going on with your hair? What about this wee bit? She's not tongued that right. Why am I even wearing this? Interesting choice of outfit. Or you send a message. 3 minutes pass. They haven't replied. The 2 ticks are up so you can have seen it. And suddenly your brain has written a Netflix drama, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They're annoyed by me. I said something wrong. They hate me. What have I done? Maybe this is the end of our friendship. Maybe they don't like me. And that is the kind of mind we're going to be talking about tonight. Because every one of us has this. Okay? But they see the key message with this. Your thoughts are not facts. You're not your thoughts. You are the observer of thought. You are not the thought. Right? So we can observe the thoughts as they come. We can choose which ones we pay attention to. We are not the thought. But that inner critic makes you feel as though that's true, that is the thought. And I know that sounds simple, but thoughts aren't always true. We experience a thought, and instead of saying things like, oh, interesting thought, we say, well, that must be true because I thought it. But your mind produces all sorts of nonsense all day long. That's how we process. And if every thought you ever had was true, we'd be in quite a bit of bother, wouldn't we?
That's true. That's definitely true.
We probably wouldn't have many pals or, we might even be in the jail.
Yes.
If we really believed and every thought was true and we acted on them. Right? So the inner critic is that part that creates that stuff. right? And I want you to answer this. Just have a wee think about this and just answer it privately in your own mind. You don't need to share it unless you really want it. I want you just to think for a wee minute about that inner critic, that voice that you hear, right? And if that inner critic had a name, what would you call it?
Well, I actually, see if I'm in a bad mood or like something like that, Franny always calls me Jane, and that is my middle name, and it's a pure old fucking women's name. That's what I would call it, Jane.
Jane.
We don't like Jane.
Anybody else want to share?
Mine is Steve.
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 Steve. Oh God, Steve. Sorry, excuse my language, and I know it's recording. Sorry.
Love it, Stevena. Love it. So mine's is Priscilla.
Priscilla.
And I imagine it as a wee chimp. And I might have spoke about my chimp before. So that's my inner critic. And she's called Priscilla. I've got a good relationship with her now because I've worked really hard with her. Right? And it's actually, the funnier we can call that, the better. Right? So there's things like, oh, Mrs. Perfect, maybe Doom Dave, Negative Nancy, Judge Judy, Captain Catastrophe. Oh, here's the head teacher, the drill sergeant. Or, oh, here we go again. Makes sense? We've all done it. We've all got it. But give it a name. If you don't have a name for it, give it a name. Right? Because it feels very different when we give it a name. When we say, for example, oh, there's Doom Dave again. Rather than you say, oh, that thought must be true. Because when we believe that thought must be true, our nervous system responds to that. We react to that. Because the brain doesn't know what's different, doesn't know what's real and what's imagined. But see if I say, oh, there's Doom Dave, or right, Priscilla, right now I'm okay, I don't need that. That doesn't feel as though that I'm right in that. It feels as though I'm talking to a different part of me and I create a bit of distance. So then I can manage that better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's really good to have a name for it. A lot of people like, I'm sorry if there's any Karens,
Karen.
but a lot of people like to call it Karen because of all the TikToks and memes and everything you see of Karens. Isn't it? It's like, aye, right, Karen. And it absolutely does change it. And see with kids, if you have kids that struggle with this stuff, getting them to do this is great. They come up with great things.
It's funny,
I've had brilliant.
we call Leo
Sorry.
Sid. See,
There you go.
Sid out of Toy Story, like if he changes his character, like, or like he becomes that moodiness, we always say, oh, Sid's back. He hates it.
I had something the other day there that called it Lucifer.
Lucifer. Love that.
You know? And it's what works for you.
Yeah.
So it is, because straight away that helps us recognise this isn't me. This is a part of me. And I'll explain as we go on where that part came from. Right? And when we do that, the inner critic, it becomes powerful because it becomes familiar, right? A familiar thought often stops being questioned, doesn't it? We just accept it as a norm. I'm no good enough. Always mess up. They're hitting their personal best, I'm no. Everybody else is doing better than me. I should be further ahead. I don't look right. People are judging me. I need to get a grip. I shouldn't feel like this. And eventually we stop hearing these as opinions and we start believing them as a truth. And then it makes our life really difficult because that's fighting against everywhere we're trying to go now. So it's almost like this invisible barrier Because if I tell myself that's going to be hard, I can guarantee you it'll be hard. Because I've decided it's going to be hard. So that's what I'm looking for now. Everything hard about that is going to be laser focused to me. But if I say, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm actually just going to be curious and give it my best, I'll probably do so much better because I've taken all that pressure away from myself. And then that builds trust. Trust in your voice, in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions. Right. So where did this voice come from? Okay. So the first thing I want to make clear is people that have a critical voice think that there's something wrong with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. We all have this, okay? I see people all the time and they think, there must be something wrong with me, there must be something broken in here. No, there's no. It's human. It's what our brains do, they think. But we feed a lot of it as well, so it's getting to be better at knowing that you're feeding it at times as well and going, actually, stop that. Telling yourself, stop. Okay? So, often these critical thoughts, that critical voice, is actually as simple as something that the brain learned. Our brains are constantly predicting what happened to me before, what might happen again, how do I avoid pain, how do I avoid embarrassment, how do I stay accepted, how do I stay safe, right? So sometimes a child who experiences a lot of criticism will learn to criticise yourself first because it's a norm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you've learned it through other people's words, through other experiences, through maybe not getting that first that time, so then you've decided, I'm not good enough. They're better than me. And then you start believing it, and then it becomes something that starts to become a deep belief. It then holds you back, because what's the point? Because they're better. Right? Somehow that feels safer than being caught off guard when you criticise yourself first, isn't it? It's almost like you're trying to protect yourself to stop them doing it to you. If I get in there first. That makes sense?
Yeah.
A child expected to perform may learn, if I'm perfect enough, I'll be okay. A child who felt responsible for everybody else's emotions may learn, don't upset anyone. Keep people happy. Don't make mistakes. And then we grow up. But some of the old rules don't grow up with us because they become beliefs that then feed that inner critic. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I never thought I was good enough. I never thought that I was good enough to be sitting here doing this because people like me don't do things like this. People like me where I grew up don't do this. So I never believed I was good enough to do it, and that's why it took me to this point in my life to be doing what I'm doing. Because I allowed the inner critic to remind me of that. Remember, that's no you. That makes sense when I say it like that.
Yeah.
And then one day I said who? Watch me. Something just switched in me. It's like, watch me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Almost like I took control of that inner critic at that point and went, said who? I questioned it. I didn't just believe it anymore. I questioned it. And that shifted stuff for me. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to give you a few sentences. You don't need to answer if you don't want to. Just again, allow yourself to think about it, answer it in your own mind. But just notice which one makes your brain go, oh, that one. Right? So my mind tends to believe I need to get things right. I shouldn't disappoint anyone. I need people to like me. I shouldn't look silly. I should be doing more. I should be further ahead. I need to look a certain way. I shouldn't struggle. Other people cope better than me. Resting means I'm lazy. If something goes wrong, it's probably my fault. Must be something I did. To just sit with that for a wee minute. That was 7. How many out of the 7 did you tick?
Probably most.
Yeah. Welcome to being human.
That's what I was talking to Franny the other day there about something, I can't remember what it was. It was about like emotions or whatever, and I was saying like it's actually a good thing to, I think it was maybe because we were watching the Lindsay Clancy trial, but I was saying it's actually a good thing, like if you are anxious, if you are, you know, feeling upset, like yes, of course we don't want to feel these things, but you are human, like you are going to go through difficult times where you feel all these kind of emotions. Do you know what I mean? You are human.
Yeah, and that's the thing with emotions. Emotions, we are scared of our emotions.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
The majority are absolutely frightened of our emotions, because if you grew up like I grew up, I was never taught about my emotions.
Yeah.
I was never taught how to regulate. I was never taught it was safe to feel them. Do you know? So as growing up and as an adult, I suppressed a lot. I was told from my parents to get my greeting stopped, but that came from love, because they thought they were calming me and set. But actually, all that did was teach me to suppress even more.
Yeah.
And I do believe that really played a role in when I was really unwell with my mental health, because I was never taught that stuff. And what's good now is at school they do teach kids this stuff. They do try and bring in stuff which is better than what we had.
Yeah, some of the stuff that Leo has, like loads of things about like gratitude and like how is he feeling in that day, and to draw how he feels. And one of the times he drew like a wee guy sleeping because he felt sleepy. I'm like, God's sakes, if I don't put you to bed at a good time. But it is actually, Mel Robbins, everyone will know that, all my clients will know how much I've been ranting and raving about the Let Them book. And she was saying like how adults are 8-year-olds in a body, like, because, you know, if say we wanted something when we were younger and then you go into a strop because you're not allowed it, and then the adult just shouts at you or just gives in to you, like, you grow up with that habit growing up.
So that's your belief. That's your belief system.
Yeah.
So it is. The Mel Robbins theory is really good, but only if you apply the full
let
theory.
Me.
Because it's not just the fuck them or the let them.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's just the let them, but you need to then do the let me bit.
Yep.
So you do. And the majority of our beliefs in all these patterns come from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
When we are unaware that these beliefs and these patterns are being created, and then because we're not taught it, when we get to adult, we carry a lot of that through in our behaviours, how we react, how we respond, but we never match the dots normally. We think, why are you feeling like that? What's going on with me? But if you think of certain reactions, you will react like that child self in certain situations.
Yeah.
It would be your adult self sitting here in this call that would react at that point. Sometimes if it's coming for there, you'll be back to that response, that reaction. It's really clever, actually. That's how I love what I do, because it's dead interesting and really clever
100%.
how it all works.
Yeah.
So it is. So, the inner critic is like a strange employee, isn't it, really? Because it's a part of us and it's working for us. Because actually that inner critic part, its positive intention is thinking it's keeping you safe. So it is. Because what it believes is, if I tell you all this stuff, then when you leave this door, and if you do all that and check all that before, none of that will happen out the door, so it will reduce the threat. Make sense?
Yeah.
But actually thinks it's doing you a favour. So it does. Just in a warped sense of a way, isn't it? So it is like a wee employee that's kind of got our back, but it's making us feel shit in the process.
Yeah.
It's holding us back, right? And if it worked for you, you'd probably sack it. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you're out. Oh, negative Nancy. Out the door. You're putting the energy down.
Says like what I do for a living. Tell everybody worst case scenarios. That's why I'm laughing. I work in financial crime. Risk management. Oh, can't do that. It's not safe. Fact.
Love it. So imagine if somebody coming into work every morning, right, and saying, "Morning, you're rubbish." Is that what you've done? Everybody's ahead of you. God, your trousers look weird today. Good luck, though. I hope you have a good day. What would you do? You'd be straight to HR,
Yeah.
reporting them, wouldn't you? Like, who you talking to? Right? But that's how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
That's how the inner critic talks to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you'd be mad if somebody else said all that to you. Oh, one of your eyebrows is a bit dodgy. Did you do that yourself?
Yeah, I do.
You know?
Yeah.
You would be like, cheeky gay. Who do they think they're talking to? Wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Right. So another wee thing I want you to think about. And if you've got a notepad, write it down. Take some notes. Right. I'll just think about it. So I'm going to start with statements. And you're going to fill it in your head or writing it down or whatever. Okay? So my critic tends to say, it gets louder when I believe it, I feel. And then I tend to now, keeping all that in mind, now ask yourself something slightly different. If this part thought it was helping me, what might it be trying to prevent? Maybe failure, maybe embarrassment, maybe rejection, judgment, been left out, losing control, criticised, no feeling good enough. Just examples. And then I'm going to pick a Nicola and I'm going to ask her to share.
I've even got a notepad, guys. I get brownie points.
That's in our writing.
Yes. I always, well, my wee inner critic will say things like, I'm not doing good enough. And I said that a lot of that comes from social media, or if I actually have a bit of spare time. So sometimes I find it like on a Sunday, when I don't work on a Sunday, I feel like I need to work. Like, I feel like if I don't work, then I'm not doing good enough. And then when I start to feel that way, I start to feel overwhelmed and exhausted. Then I take myself down a rabbit hole and start to doubt myself. So that's
what do you think it's trying to do?
I don't know if what I think it's trying to do though. I feel like I could be all of them, like kind of like fear of failure. And
is there a bit of judgment in there with the social media?
Judgment, yeah, but I'm okay with understanding that after reading my book that not everyone's gonna like you, not everyone's gonna agree on the same opinions, and like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being vulnerable. I'm okay with putting myself out there. I would probably say for me it's like more failing. I feel like, I don't know, the older you get, like you put a lot of pressure on yourself, like especially for me as a mum, I always kind of feel like that. I don't know if it's maybe came from like growing up, like I've always been very independent on myself, so I feel like, you know, if I don't do good enough, then oh my god, I'm going to fail everything.
See, when you did good enough, did you get validation when you were younger?
I don't.
Or did you validate yourself, and was that why you kept going and feeling you were never doing good enough?
My thing with like growing up is like, I feel like I don't actually remember good times. Like all I can remember is just trauma to me, and I'll be honest with that. Like I can't remember. And actually not long ago, maybe last year, my mum said to me like, do you not remember this? And I'm just like, I can't remember that. Like I can only fixate on these things that have caused X, Y, and Z. So like for me to sit and think about a time where someone gave me some sort of compliment or whatever, like I couldn't even do it.
So that makes sense why you don't feel good enough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That you need to do more.
Yeah.
You always need to be doing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does anybody else want to share? Has that made sense for everybody, why I went through that, to allow you to see the pattern that shows up?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And usually there is something behind it, like that fear of failure, embarrassment, rejection, being judged. So it's like I'll criticise myself, I'll double check that against so that when I get out the door, I've already done it. Do you know, so they'll know that. Yeah. That protection bit again. That's where I was kind of saying it sounds a wee bit weird, but the intention is for it to protect you. But it's just doing it in a way that's making you feel shit. And I think what I kind of took through what you were saying there, Nicola, as well, is none of that makes you feel good.
Yeah. No.
None of that. And you actually claimed it as going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Is that
and then
reason?
often I'm messaging Franny saying, oh my god, freaking out.
Yeah. And instead of saying, why am I doing this to myself? How would it feel to think it? So you've heard me saying the word a part of us, okay? Because it is, we've got all different parts of us, right? So how would it feel to say, why am I doing this to myself? And ask, what is this part worried about? Because that totally starts to shift a bit again. Because why am I doing this to myself? You beating yourself up again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're then letting the critic beat us up, and then we're beating ourselves up. And it just keeps going. But if we then change our approach to that and say, what's this part worried about? What's it trying to communicate? What's it trying to communicate to me? Do you know? And then that's where we can take a moment and bring in some thematic work, and even just placing our hands here and say, I'm safe. I'm here. I'm the adult. I'm in control. And remembering who you are. Make sense?
Yeah.
And we start to bring it back. We start to take control back. Okay? And it does start to change it. So I do parts work every day when I work with people. It's amazing work to do. I actually talk to the parts of me. I imagine all these different wee parts of me at all different ages and stages growing up. Right? And the really nice stuff about this work is, I believe it's a real gift. Because see, everything that I didn't get as a child, I can go back and give myself that as an adult.
Amazing.
And I'm not just talking about as a wee child, I'm talking about a teen, a younger adult, any part of me I can go back using the way I work. And I can connect with that part, and I can sit with that part of me, and I can say, I see you, I hear you, I've got you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's super powerful work to do. Because what happens is, when we try and tell those parts to beat it, they get louder. They get louder again. Because they're communicating with you and you're not listening. You're not connecting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it can sound weird when I talk like this, because it makes total sense in my head, because I do it every day. But it's lovely work to do, because for me, like I was told things like the words that kind of stick in my head that fed my inner critic was, always remember my aunt saying to me about my cousin and my pals, do you know, our Ainsley's such a pretty lassie, and so is Kellyanne, and you're just you.
That's terrible.
I would say I was about 13, so very difficult age as it is. Try to fit in, try to find your way, try to find into groups. That's never left me. The fact that I still talk about that as an adult shows you that.
Yeah.
But that also fed my inner critic and my belief that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't pretty enough, I was just the wee, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a great example of where that inner critic comes from. Because at that age I believed that. Well, that must be true. She's saying that to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then
It's weird how you believe. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's weird how you believe other people more than you believe yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely. But we can shift and change that by doing the work that I'm talking about today. That's the start of us taking that power back, taking that control back, choosing what I believe.
Yeah, and it is like social media as well. Like people, like think about when people like your pictures and comment and things, like it's that you feel like that external validation when it should be like you post up a picture to be like, I feel good. Not I need you to tell me I feel good, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and especially in your world.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of competition and a lot of that.
Yeah.
And people try to get the validation, or, well, they're hitting their personal best and I'm still, do you know, all that kind of stuff, where we absolutely do, and we look for that stuff, for the validation, do you know, but, so I never, ever, because I learned my lesson the hard way. When I first started doing this work, I went and looked at what everybody was doing, and I drove myself insane. I made myself unwell. Maybe I should be doing that, maybe I should be doing that. Well, I'm not doing that, but you know.
Yeah.
And for the past 3 years at least. I just don't do that. I don't go and look. I don't go and search for it. I keep myself in my lane because I know what I want to do. I know what I've got. I know my skills. I know what I want to achieve. I know how I want to help people. So I very much focus my time and my energy there. Because when I was doing that, I get so caught up in that I didn't have time and energy to actually do the work that I needed to do to get myself there.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So it is.
I did stuff. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Love it, Stephanie.
I'm really chatty, you just need to tell me shut up. But I did the same to Nicola today. Like, I wore this brand new gym set I got for my birthday last night to the gym, and I felt really good, and somebody came up to me and said, "That's a lovely set on you last night." And then I went on social media this afternoon. It was this girl who was beautiful, was wearing the same set, and said, "I've had loads of people slating me, telling me," and I was like to Nicola, "Am I supposed to feel like that?"
See?
What?
There's a great example. Isn't it? Great example. And we do it all the time when we allow ourselves. If you notice, if you follow my business pages, you'll notice I don't put a lot up. I don't put myself out there much. I just don't do it because, one, I don't have time. I don't have the energy half the time. And it's not a huge important part of the work that I do. A lot of my work comes through word of mouth. So I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
If I'm getting clients coming to me because that person's recommended them or that person's recommended them, I would rather have it that way than worry about the likes that I've got or the followers I've got, you know. And it's different for everybody. It depends what generation you're brought up in. Like when I was growing up, I had to go and chat at your door to see if you were coming out to play. Do you know? I didn't have all that social media, thank God.
Yeah.
It just depends the generation, I think, that you grow up in as well, what feeds into it. Right. Why arguing with your thoughts often doesn't work? Have you ever had one of the nights where your brain says, "Let's sleep, I'm exhausted"?
Every night.
And 2 seconds later, I'll mind that, and you said it was dead embarrassing in 2007. You made an offer a nick of yourself, didn't you? Mind that. And then you start arguing with it, didn't you? And you start going, "Oh, I should have done this, I should have done that." You try and stop thinking about it, ain't you? And then it jumps to the next embarrassing thing. Aye, that was like that time in 2011, wasn't it? And it just keeps going. And then the inner critic loves jumping in at this point and really showing you all these shitty things, doesn't it? And then we add to it, we start joining in and adding on to the story, so we do. And mind that boy that I fancied and I was black, I frigged it. Made a pure fool of myself. Right? And then you tell yourself, right, stop thinking about it. Right, stop it. Right, we're definitely stopping thinking about this now. Oh, here we've got it in HD now. We've now got a movie with it. And the more we try and get rid of them, the looser they normally could become. Because you've paid it attention. You've paid it. Right, remember what I said at the start? We're not the thought, we're the observer of thought. But if you do doing that, you're believing all that and you're getting into it again. It's done. Past is the past.
Yeah.
Can't you change it? You can't. Right? So instead of fighting every thought, we learn to notice it. Right? So imagine the thought, I'm not good enough. Right? So that thought's coming in, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. Imagine changing that to, I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. Does that feel any different?
Yeah, that actually does.
Absolutely, because that's you not being the thought. That's you observing the thought. Make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not good enough as you believing the thought. You are the thought. I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough as you stepping out of it and recognising I'm having that thought. I don't necessarily believe it. I might no believe it, but right now I'm recognising I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. Or I'm noticing that my mind is producing that old story of not good enough. Right, Karen? I hear you. Make sense?
Yep.
We then start working with it differently, right? So anybody that did that, you should have noticed that they felt slightly different. 1 minute, I'm believing it. The second way, I'm stepping out it. I'm creating space, I'm creating distance, but it creates choice. And then I choose whether I want to go in with that thought or hook onto it or create a story. The first thought felt like an identity, didn't it? I'm not good enough. But the other one didn't. It felt like something the mind was doing rather than being your identity. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So let's try another wee exercise. We choose one recurring thought. Maybe it is I'm not good enough, maybe it's I always mess up, maybe nobody likes me, maybe I look terrible, I'll never be confident. Whatever it is, think of a thought. And then I want you to ask it in your head, is it a fact? Or is it a prediction? Or is it an opinion? Is it a fear? Is it an old story? Make sense?
Yeah.
So what was yours, Nicola?
I would say probably mine's is fear.
Well, if it's fear, it's definitely protection that your inner critic's working from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
And you don't even need to prove the thought wrong. Sometimes just realising that, it's a prediction,
Yeah.
is enough to stop giving it full control.
Yeah.
Right? So we're really just creating that space between these thoughts rather than being in it and being it. Okay?
Yeah.
Practical thoughts aren't only thoughts. Right? So remember I spoke at the beginning, I said what the brain takes in, it believes it doesn't know how to create the difference between what's real and imagined. So if I tell myself that, it's hard, guess what, it's hard. Okay? If I tell myself that's going to be really scary, what would normally happen then is I would get in, I would create the catastrophe that's going to be really scary. I would probably make it 3D, 4D, and I would make it everything about it. And then you'll notice what happens in your body. So Nicola's already explained what happens when you went through that other wee exercise. But when it's really catastrophe, scary thoughts, they can create a tightness in the chest and not in the stomach. You say flush, sweat, tension, shallow breathing, an urge to run and hide, an urge to fix everything immediately. Right? So what's happened there is the brain has took what you have showed it literally. Now remember, none of this has happened. None of this is real at this point. Might never be real at this point. But look at how your body's reacted. It's went into survival. All through a thought. The tiger wasn't chasing you. The building wasn't falling down on top of you. You were just sitting in your head telling yourself a lovely wee story. Everything that's going to go wrong. And then the inner critic starts to jump in. And it helps you really create a great story. Because now it's gone, shit, danger. I need to stop her leaving this house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sometimes when we notice that, it might be helpful to regulate yourself first. Notice your feet, wiggle your toes, take yourself out of your head and remember that this is a whole body and head and it's not just a head we live in. Bring yourself back into the present. Recognise, I've just been to Storytown. None of that was real. Make sense?
Yep.
And then we start to, this is us starting to work with the pattern that we get into, because the inner critic has become a pattern, hasn't it? Because you don't need to try and get up, it just happens. So now we need to start at working at breaking down the pattern of that. We're starting to, I'll just take a wee moment before I decide if I'm going to agree with that thought. I'm just going to recognise that that is a thought. Make sense?
Yep.
Right. If you're in a position to do so, put your feet on the floor. Notice the chair supporting you, wherever you're sitting. If you're standing, whatever you're doing, just notice. Look around the room you're in. Just take it in. Notice 3 objects. And notice that something completely boring is perfect when you notice it. Notice a sound, just one. Allow your jaw to soften. Drop your shoulders intentionally. Allow your out breath to be slightly longer than your in breath. And then say inside your mind, this is a thought. This is a feeling. And neither requires an emergency meeting. And that's exactly how we take a pause and decide what we're doing with that thought. And then while you are there, in that lovely little wee state, think of a mild critical sentence. Not your biggest drama or critic. Just something every day like that, I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll make a fool of myself. And as you think of that critical thought, that inner critic, notice where is the voice. Is it at the front of the head, the back of the head, the side, all over? How loud is it? If 10 was the loudest, how loud is it? How fast is it? Whose voice is it? What tone is it? Is it a nice tone?
It's Jane's.
And then using that amazing imagination, whatever way you imagine's right, imagine a volume dial. And imagine starting to turn it down. Turn it all the way down. Then imagine you can push that voice away. Push it further away. Further. Now make it sound like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. Same words with their voice. And then just bring yourself back. How did that feel, Nicola?
Yeah, it actually does work when you do really focus on what you're thinking. It does.
How did it feel when you changed the voice, Stephanie?
I struggled with that part only because it's a very taunting voice already in my head. But silencing it was better for me.
Good, so you know what to do. So that's good, because we all work differently. So I'll go in at every angle, because I know one of them's going to hit what you need. What you've showed me as auditory is the bit for you, so turning it down. Turning the volume down. What you just did there was took control. You don't believe you're in control of this stuff. What you did was took control there. Right? And when we change it, I have great fun with this stuff in my therapy room. Do you know, you can imagine the laughs that we have at times. We change folk into rabbits that have annoyed us, and we make them have squeaky voices and sound like mice and really annoying little voices, and we do all this silly stuff. But if you think about that inner critic voice, when we change it to a voice that sounds like that, how can we take it so serious?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
We have the power to do that. Make sense?
Yeah.
So there's a few wee tips and techniques that I've showed you today. There's bits where we've created the distance, we've recognised we're not the thought, we're the observer of thought. We've done a wee grounding exercise where then you can step in and you get to choose. What I did there with you was an NLP, where we changed the submodalities of how you were hearing, seeing, imagining, whatever was going on. So that's like the neural pathways, it's the language, the linguistics, the programming. So we started getting in and just shifting and changing some of that there. And what I want you to do, if it felt good, keep doing it. Keep showing yourself that you're in control. Go in when it's loud and turn it down. Push it away. Change its voice. Sometimes it's nice to think about changing the voice for a voice that helps you feel good about yourself. A voice that helps you trust yourself. A voice that's nice and calm and safe. That doesn't always need to be a funny voice. Do you know? It's about you thinking, what kind of voice is it I need to hear when that voice shows up?
Yeah.
And then we spoke about giving it a name. So what we're doing with all of that is recognising it's not the whole of us, it's a part of us, and I can actually now work with that part. And that's why now I've got a great relationship with Priscilla. She used to be a wee arse, but she's not so bad now.
Love that. But it's
How's
just
that been for you? Does anybody get any questions?
No, I'm good. It's just, I think these wee things that it's just them putting them into practice, like, and honestly, I know my clients are going to be like, fucking shut up about this book, right? But the other day there, I actually sat and done the let them. I was like, let them, then let me. And the more you do it and the more you say these things, then you do start to believe it. And it's something me and Franny do every day. We always say, today's going to be a good day. Today's going to be a good day. And the more you start to say these things and understand your mind, like, you do start to feel better.
Yeah. You do. So you are the controller, and as soon as you wake up in the morning, you're in that trance state. So that's the best time to give yourself a good suggestion, because you're still in a kind of hypnotic trance state when you're waking up.
Yeah.
Do you know? So actually waking up and saying, do you know, today is a good day.
Yeah.
Or what I do is, I'm just going to be curious and see how my day goes.
Yeah.
Because I haven't decided anything then. But what I have done is, what comes back to me is, I trust myself no matter what comes up. I trust myself.
Yeah.
So by being curious, I'm trusting myself. So even if you don't, because a lot of folk will struggle to say, I'm going to have a great day. Because
yeah,
we just struggle to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if we say, just, well, I'm going to be curious today and just see how my day goes, that allows us to start moving in that direction without it feeling, oh God, I'm being dead nice to myself and that's no nice.
Yeah.
Because that's how we react.
Yeah, that is true. That's
You
so
know?
true.
So hopefully that's gave you an understanding
Amazing.
and some
So
tips
that
and
means
techniques.
if yous all say to me, like, you're not good enough, you're X, Y, and Z, that I can call yous by the name, not your real name, the other name. Yes,
In the
Steve.
room, I'll say to people, who's talking to me?
Yeah.
I'll actually say to people, because I can notice the switch and the difference, and I'll say, oh, who's talking to me here?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Because you notice the difference.
Yeah, amazing.
And I'll do that to help them reflect and recognise it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're in control of it.
Amazing. Thank you
Makes
so
sense?
much, as always.
That's been lovely.
As always,
Yeah.
I am going to my bed now.
Oh.
It's 11 o'clock here.
Oh. If there's anything else,
Oh,